Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Excited today to have my husband, Sledz, here with us. And we're gonna talk today about being in business with your spouse, how to work better and more efficiently together than apart. And we have been together in business for the last 10 years. And I must say in the beginning, it's been a work in progress. It hasn't always been easy. We still have some challenging times, but we've learned a lot and wanted to share with you today what we've learned. First up, Jarrett, why don't you share with us what you've learned?
Well, there's a little bit of room for improvement for most guys when it comes to our ability to communicate. Not ability, call it willingness or the habit of communication. And that's something that we've, as in us guys, can definitely work on. And that's something that I've definitely stepped up my game. Understanding the fact that women, they want to know more about what we're doing. They don't necessarily want to get the information for a check-in, but I feel like Melissa, when you know what I'm up to, you feel more involved, right? And if you're involved, we're part of this together. And when I'm not checking in, all of a sudden it's like, this is my thing and Jared's doing his thing over here, and now we're separate. And the whole point of this was to do it together. So that's where the kind of the daily check-in comes from.
Yeah, so step one would be daily check-in. And I'm well aware that a lot of you watching probably maybe aren't in business with your spouse, but this can apply as well. You're going about your day that way, the other spouse is going about their day that way. The daily check-in really helps for us. Step two, know your role. I think it's really important to discuss amongst each other, figuring out what it is your role in the business and at home with your kids, or if you have kids.
And I think it's important to understand that the dynamic here is changing. It's probably always going to change, not maybe on a daily basis, but as your family changes, as kids get older, as you add kids, as your business starts to change, that role is going to change. You can't be locked in to one mindset and one task or one role. You got to be able to be fluid and be able to change with. And I think over the years, that's what's helped us to get progressively stronger in not just in our business, but also in our relationship.
I completely agree. Just identify what those roles are, where you're going to spend your efforts, where they're going to spend your efforts, and then be open to change and adapting along the way, for sure.
And what worked well, finding those roles, are identifying things that we like to do. Identify things that we're good at. Don't saddle your spouse with something, that's funny. No, don't saddle your spouse with something that they don't like to do. And you want them, I want you to do more personal training with the team, and it's something that you're not strong at. More communication with the team. Maybe it's something that you're not passionate about. Find your role that you're good at and leverage that strength.
Another key tip, step three, would be to reconvene nightly. And I've been taught from the very beginning, 14 years ago, that your last meeting of the day should be with your spouse. And that was some of the best advice that we had. We were getting in the habit of going to bed and not even really saying goodnight and not talking to each other, not talking about our day and how it's going. And that last meeting is so important amongst each other, because it's so easy to get in the habit of just going to bed and not talking and not celebrating all the wins. And sometimes, your partner just needs to hear how your day went. They need you to just ask the question.
And when you said celebrating all the wins, when you said that, it made so much more sense. That meeting at the end of the night should be focused more on where you're going rather than the challenges or the battles we had throughout the day.
Yes.
Right? Now, we obviously need to overcome these challenges and get help from each other on that. But I think before bed and near the end of the day, that's not a time to tackle new challenges, rather than talk about what went well and where things are going. And that's how you end your day, because then the next day it's even more exciting to get into.
And Jared's been really good at that for me, for sure. Step number 4, I love this. Always have each other's back. And I had to put this in here because as a couple in business, we run an agency and we have a ton of people on our team. And quite often that comes with different leadership styles, different opinions on how things should be done. And I have found that people try and get in the way of this relationship. Number one is your marriage, is your relationship. Whether you're dating or married, it doesn't matter, but this comes first. And so we make sure to always have each other's back. If someone's complaining to me about Jarrett or someone's complaining about me to Jarrett, we make sure that we're listening and we're open to change, but we're making sure that we got each other's back.
And that was one of my first lessons I ever received. But prior to us being married, that's one of the most wonderful gifts that you gave me, was teaching me that. And guys, we don't think we do it, but we do it all the time. Sometimes we put our buddies before our girlfriend, fiance, now wife, and we don't even realize it because we've been doing it for so long. You've never really had to put someone else first. You have to learn how to do that. You have to create that awareness, and that's what you did years and years ago. And I think that's one of the reasons we're still here.
Yeah. Step number 5. All right, you've heard this before, making time for each other. You know, given the times and the quarantine and whatnot, it's difficult to get alone time. And I understand that situations may be what they may be, but honestly, something that we learned from some great friends of ours is schedule a date night. Whether you're in quarantine or not, you can still have a date night. You can make time for each other. The kids can go and play somewhere else, and you can have that one-on-one time together to connect, because it is so important to continue to stay aligned and connected. And anytime I felt like our marriage was kind of going this way is when I wasn't connecting with Jarrett. And it's so important, especially during these times, to make sure that we keep the communication open, that we're connecting, that we're spending time together. So that would be my step 5.
Make YouTube videos together because you're sexy on camera. Just
Stop. Oh my gosh. So that would be my step 5. That's what we have for you today. I'd love to hear more from you and what's worked well for you in partnership, whether in business or just in life. And please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, want to connect more with you guys. Super excited for the next video.